Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, Instagram. We are live everywhere. I think we are good to go. Good morning, everybody. September 10th, episode 275. Traveling today, as you can see, I have a different view. Let me get the comments on here in case anybody wants to talk to us. Come on into the show. Let me get rid of this banner. I should remember to do that. Always welcome to Mornings with Scott, the best damn business show for medium and small businesses on the planet. Like I said, traveling today. I'm excited heading off to Toronto later today. I was logging on yesterday. I was looking at the stocks, the markets, and Canopy Growth was way up. That is a Canadian cannabis stock, a licensed producer stock, and probably the biggest in the world, I would think. And they were up 12% intraday and closed at over 8%. And they're up again in pre-markets, although I think they're down a little bit right now, like everything that I'm following. But I did look and saw that Aurora was up as well. Tilray was up. Most of the ones that actually do business were up, not 100%, but the serious ones. And I asked you guys why, and nobody answered me. But I did find out yesterday that Trump had put on social media that he supported legalization in Florida or something to that effect. So everybody got a bump because, yay, we're all excited about U.S. legalization. Not going to happen. Not going to happen anytime soon. So I wouldn't get too excited about that. Speaking of stuff, do you want an update on the options trade? If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch yesterday's episode. I won't bore you guys again. Let's say 3 full days of trading. I'm up 43.97% real in 3 days. I walked through the math of that yesterday and my thinking on it and how politics and business and markets interact. So there you go. Speaking of politics, big debate tonight. Big debate. Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. Are you excited about that? I am. Should be fun, right? I was driving here to Calgary last night, listening to all the news on the radio, the various media channels, and everybody in the political news even in the business news was talking about the debate. And the general consensus on both sides of the aisle was that Trump is going to be awesome and Kamala Harris is going to suck. That's what it is. And the Kamala Harris people are downplaying the expectations for Harris substantially because you always want to do that heading into a debate. And the Trump people are just bragging about how awesome Trump is in a debate. So I guess you always want to do that during a debate or in preparation for a debate as well. The argument is that Trump's done many, many presidential debates. Good morning, Darren Hatina. Keep going as you're delivering on the best damn promise. Thank you, sir. I do appreciate that. So they're saying that Trump's done many of these debates and he's a natural at it and he knocked it out of the park. And Harris has never done these debates and she's not confident. That's sort of the arguments. And so with respect to Trump, they all say, well, he is great against Biden. He was great against Biden and knocked him out of the race. Was he though? Was he really great against Biden? Here's the truth. Trump was okay. Harris is okay. It's just going to be a battle of the okay debaters. Yeah, Trump knocked out Biden. That's true. But it wasn't because Trump was being awesome. It was because, I marked Trump in that debate like a B, maybe a C plus, like 7 out of 10. Okay, he did fine. The thing that knocked Biden out of the debate is that Trump's opponent was a -3 out of 10. I mean, it was unbelievable how bad he was and how degraded he has become, sadly. Unbelievable. So Trump looked awesome. And Harris in turn, she's debated all the time. She's debated for prosecutor in California. She's debated for the VP. She debated Mike Pence, if you don't remember, who's a legit politician, like him or not, think he's boring or not. He's a legit politician. He knows how to debate. Harris did fine against her. Now, yes, she got smoked by Tulsi. But, everybody would be smoked by Tulsi. Tulsi's awesome. She should have been Trump's VP pick, but whatever. Let's move on. Prediction. Harris wins no matter how poorly she does, and Harris wins no matter how well Trump does. That's right. Head you win, tails you win. That's what's going to happen. Why? Because there's zero chance the media is going to come away from this, apart from Fox News and Breitbart. But apart from that, there's zero chance, no matter what happens, that the media is going to come away and say that Trump won. Not going to happen. Harris wins no matter what. That's what they're going to sell you on. Remember after the second day after the Biden debate, and all of a sudden CNN and MSNBC were starting to pitch you that Biden won that debate. Well, before the debate, the Harris campaign yesterday released her policies. Yay! Released her policies on the website, on her website, the campaign website, and it was posted on X, and I read them, and it was posted by a legit economic / Democratic supporter, a real person with integrity, I think, and different point of view, but integrity and honesty. There's the word I'm looking for. So he posted this, and I thought, I don't even believe this. I think I'm being punked here. So I went and checked for myself, because I really try hard to not be punked and repeat the stuff on this show. So I went to her dinner last night. I went to her website, which I've never done, and sure enough, here they are: Kamala Harris policies. Cut taxes for middle-class families. Make rent more affordable and home ownership more attainable. Grow small business and invest in entrepreneurs. These are policies of Kamala Harris campaign. Take on bad actors and bring down the costs. Strengthen and bring down the cost of health care. There's a policy. Protect and strengthen Social Security and Medicare. Support American innovation and workers. Provide a pathway to the middle class through quality, affordable education. Invest in affordable child care and long-term care. Lower energy costs and tackle the climate crisis. These are the policies of Kamala Harris. Did you hear? You might be thinking to yourself, Scott, I didn't hear any policies in there. Was there any policies at all? Like lower energy costs and tackle the climate crisis? Is that a policy? No, there's no policies in there. This is exactly what stupid people do. We do it in business all the time. We do it in our lives, and we do it in politics. It's what stupid people do. They confuse a goal with an action. A goal is not an action. A goal is not a policy. Now, I'm not saying, by the way, that she's stupid or her campaign is stupid for doing this. In fact, it could be quite the opposite. They may be brilliant for not talking about any policies, just broad sweeping, nonsensical goals like lowering the cost of energy, at the same time fighting climate change, whatever the hell that means. I'm not arguing against climate change. I'm just saying there's no definition to this whatsoever. Not posting actual policies and actions that she might take is probably smart. It's probably smart, because the more she talks about policies, the worse it is going to get for her. She's made that clear. But as she would say, let me be perfectly clear. A goal is not an action. Here's a policy that I've come up with. I'm going to live productively to 150 years old. That's my policy. I'm going to live productively until 150 years old. Now, you might say, Scott, you literally had a show called Martinis with Scott, and you seem to be on the hunt for cigars all the time. And I would say back to you, your point? What is your point? I don't know what you're saying. I just told you my policy. Have I ever told you about systems over goals? It's on the old podcast episodes a lot back in the Martinis with Scott days. It's a ripoff from Scott Adams. So shout out to Scott Adams, does a morning podcast. He writes self-help books and commentates on persuasion. Systems over goals. I steal it from him because I can't think of a better way to say it. That's the problem with that guy, is he says, I don't agree with everything he says, but I agree with 80% of what he says, and then he expresses it better than I do, and I just can't get it out of my head. That's his magic. Anyways, if you want to create change in your life, change in your business, which is what this show is about, change in your country, you do that by changing the systems. The systems are another word for habits and policies and routines. In the political sense, for Kamala Harris campaign, it should be policies. You want to make change, you change your actions. That's simple. In module 1 of my course, which I am not pitching you today because, I try to give you a break on that, I teach continuous improvement in module 1. That focuses on improving the systems in your business, the routines and the policies to get a better result, to be more profitable, and to position yourself to raise capital. Now, I'm not promoting the course today, but that's what module 1 is. And I just note that there's a link in the notes to where you can go buy that course. Systems over goal. Let's say a goal is to lose 10 pounds. You might have that goal. I might have that goal. There's a goal. Every day here's the problem with goals. Every day that I haven't lost 10 pounds, I failed. I haven't met my goal. I failed. If I do lose 10 pounds, yay, I'm happy for a second. I met a goal, but now what? I don't have a goal. It's gone. So I fail. Beat the goal for about a second. When I wake up in the morning and jump on the scale, now I no longer have a goal. A system, by contrast, is not to lose weight. A system is to work out every day. Don't eat bread, just making that up. So 2 things, work out every day, don't eat bread. That's my new system. It is action-oriented. I can win at it every single day. Hey, I worked out today. I didn't eat bread. I did my system, and it's evergreen. I could do that forever. Am I going to lose the 10 pounds? Yeah, of course I'm going to lose the 10 pounds because the system heads towards the goals. Goals are an aim. They are a direction. You need to have that. If you don't have an aim, what systems are you going to change? How do you know if, eating bread worked for you? Not eating bread worked for you, right? So you need to know where you're trying to go. That's what a goal should be. Very important. Should be as specific as possible, but it's not an action. It's not a policy. In business, your aim, by the way, when we talk about goals being a direction, your aim should be your KPIs, key performance indicators. You should know what they are. That's like 3 to 5 key metrics that drive profitability and drive cash flow. And I'm not promoting my course today, of course, but I would say the KPIs are covered at length in module 1, including in the download, like a whole schedule of possible KPIs that you could use for your business. Link is in the notes, but we're not talking about this, but the link is in the notes where you can go get that breaking news. On Twitter, Elon Musk announced, this might be 2 days old now, but his timeline for the mission to Mars. Sorry, just let me check comments over here. 2 years. First uncrewed Starship launched to Mars. Starships, plural, launched to Mars during the next Earth to Mars transfer window to test landing reliability. 4 years. First crewed flights to Mars if the uncrewed landings are successful. 20 years. I wonder how long it takes to get there. Like, if you're crewed, do you age like 15 years before you show up? How does that work? 20 years. Goal of building a self-sustaining city on Mars. A self-sustaining city on Mars with an exponentially growing flight rate. Long term, because 20 years is not long term. Becoming a multidisciplinary species to increase the probable lifespan of consciousness by reducing dependence on a single planet. Interesting and amazing. Have you ever thought about the formula, the positioning, the thinking of Elon Musk? I mean, you probably loosely have thought about, if you were like me, about sort of these broad dreams and crazy stuff that he's doing and going to Mars and creating artificial intelligence and saving free speech and digging tunnels and putting chips into people's brains. You probably thought about that. But if you really break it down, and you've also thought, you've probably heard, if you study him a little bit, how his first principles focus, like he's right in there on the floor, working on the parts or whatever it is that he's building so that he can improve from the bottom up. He putting himself on the bottom. But the real formula, I think, is interesting. He starts by selling the dream. Get us excited, get him excited, get the employees excited. I have a lot of content on this channel. If you go back to old episodes, I'm sure we'll do it again, about how you pitch, and you start with benevolence. Pitch with benevolence. Here's the benevolence for SpaceX: becoming a planetary species to increase the probable lifespan of consciousness. My goodness, that seems like something that's really good for humanity. So he starts with benevolence, but then he has a much less discussed, it's not hidden, but a much less discussed business model that is based on technical dominance of something massive, right? Technical dominance of something massive. That's the business model for making money. Now, I don't follow SpaceX too much, but it's clear that space itself is the new frontier. Star Trek. Whoever wins that privately, commercially, is going to be a gazillionaire, right? Space is the new frontier. It's going to be the new frontier for military. It's also going to be the new frontier for the private sector. And so what is SpaceX doing? They're winning that, and they're winning that with technical dominance. There's no one even close to SpaceX in putting stuff into the sky safely and bringing it back cost effectively and making it money. There was a famous investor, Silicon Valley investor, it might have been Peter Thiel, maybe 6 months ago. I was listening to him. Don't hold me to the Peter Thiel thing. It might have been one of his peers, but he said he's hugely regretting that he didn't put money into SpaceX when he was offered in the seed round. He passed on it. And then he said, in fairness to me for not investing in SpaceX right away, is the pitch from Elon was that he was going to put a turtle on the moon. So he passed. But now SpaceX has launch services for satellites, commercials, government, scientific. Don't forget, they're the ones that are going to go rescue the Bombardier astronauts who are just stuck on their 3-hour tour on the International Space Station, space exploration to Mars, cargo and crew missions. Starlink. They're Starlink. They put satellites all over the world and can deliver high-speed internet basically anywhere. It's so cool. Space tourism. So they have a real business model based on technical dominance of something large, which in this case is space. And so that's the formula. I think pitch benevolence first, right? We're going to save human consciousness, and then dominate the world, or in this case, the universe, with technology, one that makes money. Keep an eye on that formula when you think about him. Wall Street Journal reports yesterday that Elon Musk's AI startup XAI has discussed a deal where so XAI is the AI. Just going to make sure my headphones are plugged in here. My laptop was trying to take over the AirPods. XAI is the AI product coming out of X, the formerly Twitter. Okay, and so AI startup XAI has discussed a deal where it would get some Tesla revenue in exchange for providing the car maker access to its technology in resources, the latest example of the growing interconnectedness of Musk's companies. Okay, so that is from the Wall Street Journal. Now, I'm not going to go through this entire article because it's super snarky and maybe even bitchy. It's obviously this author isn't a big fan of Musk. So I'm not. Now, it is true that Musk called out this author directly on Twitter, on X, so maybe that's why. But anyways, I'm just going to pick out the important parts to this article that sort of hammer home the theme here. So continuing, under a proposed arrangement, it's described to investors, Tesla would license XAI's artificial intelligence models to help power its driver-assisted software called Full Self-Driving. FSD is the acronym, and share some of that revenue with the startup, according to people familiar with the matter. XAI would assist in developing features for Tesla, such as a Siri-like, God, I hope it's not Siri, voice assistant inside its electric cars and software to power its humanoid robot Optimus. By the way, these humanoid robots coming out of Tesla shortly, Musk says will just dwarf the Tesla cars. The cars won't even matter anymore from an economic shareholder point of view. In pitches to investors, XAI representatives have described the company as a future crucial technology provider to Tesla, to the Tesla suite of software products. Tesla is learning quite a bit from XAI, Musk said on a July conference call with investors. It's been actually helpful in advancing the full self-driving and in building up the Tesla's data center. In May, XAI raised $6 billion at a $24 billion valuation. Remember, he paid about $44 billion for X, and now he's created an AI company or related company or sister company or product. I'm not quite sure what it is, but it's already valued at $24 billion. So those of you who think that he was an idiot for buying this, I think you're missing out. Included investors like Sequoia Capital, Horowitz, Valor Equity Partners, Saudi Prince, what's his name? And okay, well, that's enough. You get the point. Musk has also said Tesla would spend about $10 billion in capital expenditures this year to build out AI capabilities. That's Tesla spending $10 billion on AI capabilities. And they've invested in heavy data centers. That's enough of that. So you get the point. So let's go back to this idea of selling and pitching first benevolence. What is the big picture here? Well, with X, he bought X. Why? He told us he was saving free speech. He still does that. He pitches that all the time. The entire collapse of civilization is coming if we don't have free speech. That's his pitch. I think it's absolutely true. And so he bought X to save free speech because that's the last domain of free speech. Okay, well, fair enough. What is the benevolence pitch on Tesla? Saving the planet from global warming. We have electric vehicles. We're not polluting the planet. We have a reduced carbon footprint. We are saving the planet from global warming. That was the benevolence pitch. And it's also morphed into, we're going to enhance safety and free up time from driving and auto deaths and accidents. And we're going to do that with the autonomous driving. Okay, so there's the benevolence pitch for each one of these companies. But what is the business case with technological dominance of something large? Well, X, and I confirmed this with my techie buddies last night, X, Musk has told us this before, one thing that it does is it captures incredible loads of data, which is basically the entire world's conversation happens on X. It all goes through the X server, and Elon Musk can capture all of that data and can use it for AI training. That is XAI. Artificial intelligence takes just loads of data to train its models, right? Because what it's doing is it's looking for patterns in speech. Those are the LLM, the large language models. And so the large part being it needs a shitload of data coming in, which you get from X in the form of characters and people texting back and forth. Well, what about Tesla? The self-driving cars and the robots. What do? Well, they capture incredible loads of data, just like X, except this data is in video form. To be a self-driving car, you need to see a stoplight and recognize it, a stop sign, a crosswalk. You got to figure out how to turn, what other vehicles are doing on the road. It's capturing data and learning all the time to be a self-driving vehicle. What do you think the humanoid robot's going to do? Do you think it's just going to hang out and not capture any data? Of course not. It's going to see your house. It's going to see your workplace. It's going to capture data, and it's all going to feed that back to Tesla. So Tesla has data for AI training. What do you think these 10 billions of investment into server stations, is that what the right word for this? Where are we up here? AI capabilities. Okay, it doesn't tell me exact. Data centers, that's the word I'm looking for. He's got massive ones in Palo Alto, Austin, building a new one in Buffalo, New York as well. Well, what do you think's going into those data centers? It's all the data from Tesla, and it's all the data from X, because that's what AI needs. So both of these companies are doing the exact same thing. They are capturing data to build AI so he can dominate, technologically speaking, and there from a business perspective, the future of artificial intelligence. That's what's going on with both of these companies. That is the business case. And the beautiful part, one of the brilliance of this. So by the way, if you think that he paid too much at $44 billion for X, well, maybe he did as a social platform, but he didn't as a data company to train AI, as he's already proven by recapturing half of that value just in XAI. It's not recaptured until you realize on the trade, right? So I don't want to get ahead of ourselves on this. But the beautiful part is that every other AI company, look at ChatGPT or whatever, where are they getting their data from? They have the big thing. It's a large language model. Where does all that data come from to train their AI? Well, they're out scouring the internet for it. It's not their data. They don't own it. And the data suppliers and the creators are starting to notice, and they're starting to sue. They're going, hey, you've got billions and billions and billions of market cap and value, and you're making all this revenue now, and you're doing it based on our data. I want some of that cash. So they're starting to sue, and this is going to be it's already become a huge issue in the industry, but not for Elon. Elon owns his data. He owns it through Tesla, and he owns it through X. And if you think Tesla is a car company, if you think X is a free speech company, you're missing the big picture. Wall Street Journal, of course, are going to work together. It's all part of a master plan, and that is focused on artificial intelligence. What is the lessons for us and our business? When I say pitch benevolence first, that is the save free speech and civilization. That is the extend human consciousness by being multi-planetary. That is save the earth through electric vehicles. That's the benevolence, but it's not the business case, but you start with that. That's what he does. That's the formula. Those are all of my prepared remarks as I'm traveling here today. What else do we have? Do we have any comments that we need to get to? We do not. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We will see you tomorrow, 8:30 Mountains. I'll be in the East tomorrow, so 10:30 Eastern. That's the exact same time, by the way. And we will check out I'm not promoting it today, but there is a link in the notes for the course that you should go check out. It is awesome. Talk to you tomorrow.